What's going on, everyone? Happy Saturday! Hopefully, everyone is doing well, having a great weekend so far. Hopefully, you're staying safe, and I really hope your Thanksgiving went well. It is time now for the Saturday edition of the Virus Update for Saturday, November 30th, 2024. Hopefully, if you had to take a COVID test or a test for anything over these past several days since we've done an update, I really hope you have tested negative. And if you did test positive, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. This is where I do the virus update. From time to time, I come on here, used to be daily, but from time to time, I come on here and do virus updates with whatever data and news is left on these viruses. There is nowhere near as much data as there once was for the COVID virus. And of course, we do have a lot of other viruses that are concerning. COVID is not the only virus you're going to hear about today. In fact, whooping cough is really starting to become a big problem in the United States and other parts of the world as well. You'll see whooping cough cases in the United States are way up compared to other years. So if you're new to my channel, want to stay informed with these viruses, just subscribe down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Hit that notification bell. Share this video with anyone you know, and leave your comments down below. Today we are going to take a look at some news stories. We're going to take a look at some data as well. And I do think we will spend several minutes taking a look at some wastewater sites as well. That's important. And we'll take a look at a few states too. So starting off today in Australia. Sometimes on Saturdays we would do Italy. I have not seen an update from Italy. So here's the latest on Australia, and really not much to be said here, but take a look here. Things are starting to trend up in several portions of Australia. Some parts of Australia are going downward, but definitely seems to be more regions in Australia are going up for COVID cases than they are dropping at this time, which unfortunately is not a good thing. And Christmas, it's not that far away. All right, over in Germany, they are seeing a dramatic rise in measles cases at this time. Yes, this is not good. And it says fatal diseases like measles and hepatitis B are on the rise in Germany despite accessible vaccines. And unfortunately, anti-vax, social media, the COVID-19 pandemic, and imported cases are thought to be behind the drastic increase. And, they don't mention this, and you're going to hear me mention this probably again when we get to whooping cough as well. COVID. It can leave a mark on the immune system, so these viruses that we thought we had eradicated, COVID, leaving a mark on the immune system can also make it easier for us to catch these viruses as well. But lacking vaccination, that also really actually is a problem. Moving on to this, long COVID, SARS-CoV-2 spike protein accumulation is linked to long-lasting brain effects. We've heard so much about COVID and what it can do to the brain. Here's just another study that proves COVID can impact our brain. All right, quick reminder, I have a website, datareport.info. I'm going to be doing some posting there this afternoon and evening. I think I'm going to do some work on the site. During the week prior to the holiday, I'm busy with work myself, so I don't get enough time to get on there and actually make posts. I'm so thankful for everyone who has been posting on the site. There's been a few people making posts lately. Thank you very much for doing that, and I'm going to get on there and add some stuff myself and probably work on the archives maybe this evening, because I don't have anything to do this evening other than maybe watch a little college football. Moving on, New Zealand. Long COVID remains a concern. Reducing infection rates through masking and other infectious controls would help keep long COVID cases down. And and it also says here on a quote, at the moment it seems to be a strategy of ignoring it, and I just don't think that is acceptable, Professor Michael Baker says. And you know what? It really does, not just in New Zealand, it really seems like in many countries around the world, we ignore it. I mean, there was a hearing in the United States, I believe it was the Senate, back in the summertime. Have you heard anything about long COVID since from the government? Do you see much about it on the news? You don't. And long COVID is such a thing that is just so underreported, and it's not talked about enough. It really is an ongoing issue, and for as long as COVID exists, for as long as people are getting infected, there will be more people being added to the long COVID. list, and unfortunately, the more times you get COVID, the higher the chance you have of getting long COVID. There's one way to prevent getting long COVID. Try not to get infected. Wear a mask. Do whatever you can. Clean the air to try and avoid catching COVID, which could lead to long COVID. All right, now on to whooping cough. Michigan's whooping cough cases spike amid falling vaccination rates. Again, they say falling vax. That's one piece to the puzzle. We also have, COVID can impact the immune system, and with more people having whooping cough, well, obviously there's more disease going around, and it's becoming easier to catch the disease as well, and it really is a problem. Look at this: 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23. Look at all these years. Then we come to 2024 in Michigan. Oh, hello. Is that a 1K? Yeah, there are over 1,000 cases of whooping cough in Michigan. In fact, it says why it matters: the surge in reported pertussis. Whooping cough is actually called pertussis. A lot of people just say whooping cough, though, cases to 1,112 cases in 2024. I think that's a big problem, and I think we need to address that. And take a look at this. Someone I know on X, Sarah Ann Willett, said, if you are wondering why folks are coughing but aren't testing positive for COVID, it very well could be pertussis. Let's open this up, shall we? Take a look at this. Look at this chart. The blue at the end. Look at how high, much higher cases are of pertussis just compared to all those other years. Yeah, that is really concerning to see pertussis cases just skyrocketing like that. And look at this. Some of the mid-Atlantic states in the Northeast are not doing too well. Pennsylvania is doing particularly bad. And I'll tell you what, I do hear a lot of people coughing out there, although I also heard some bad news the other day. Pennsylvania at this very moment is one of the worst active states for COVID. Yeah, I heard that we had over 1,000 hospitalizations in 1 week recently for COVID. That's not good. Add in pertussis. Ooh, there's a lot of disease going around in my state of Pennsylvania, but you know what? There's a lot of disease going around in other states. I'm going to show you some data in a little bit that suggests influenza, flu, is actually on the rise in a lot of states right now. Moving on now to the UK, and good news from the UK. Is it a surprise? I don't know if it's a surprise, but hey, their cases are dropping still. Weekly cases, 1,159. That's down by 107, or 8.5%. Deaths are down as of November 15th. They were down to 164, down by 41. That's down 20%. Healthcare patients admitted, 1,962. That's down by 670. So, hey, they're still dropping. And until a bigger variant or a more immune evasive variant comes along, I don't think they're going to see anything major at this rate. But, you know what? With the holidays coming soon, that could definitely push things upward regardless of what happens. But right now, hey, it is good news in the UK, and let's hope it stays that way. Taking a look at air quality values across the United States, as I have to refresh this. Hopefully it does eventually load up, and if not, that's okay. There we go. We do have a few areas of concern. We do have the West Coast, which it is fireplace season, so, with fireplaces going, chimneys, smoke coming out, it does lead to more in the way of bad air qualities. Same can be said in the Ohio Valley and portions of the Northeast. It is very cold out. I'm looking. It is 39 degrees here in Northeast Philly right now. So, yeah, fireplaces would be going with that. Plus, some of this could be moisture being streaming off the lake. Sometimes that does get worked in. I've noticed if there's a day where there's high moisture content in some areas, that sometimes shows up on these sensors for some reason. And there is a big lake effect snow event going on across the Great Lakes. You can learn more about that over at Climate Data Report. Not just so much my X account, Blue Sky, but more so over on my YouTube channel, where I will be doing a video this afternoon. I will be updating the situation. It's become a pretty serious situation. There were people stranded last night on Interstate 90 in northwest Pennsylvania and southwest New York State for several hours. Vehicles were stranded, including commercial vehicles, and I believe there was a ban on commercial vehicles. So why that even happened is just very frustrating, but some places have already seen 30 inches of snow. Watertown, New York is now projected to get upwards of 70 inches of snow. See my channel for that. I'm going to be doing a video there a little later this afternoon. All right, Philadelphia Fire Department on Thursday had 689 EMS incidents. I don't know if they came in for Friday's number yet. No, they still haven't done Friday's number. But Thanksgiving Day was 689 EMS calls. That's a fairly low number, and I'm happy about that. All right, taking a look now at what's going on in the surrounding areas at the moment. Look at this. Just 5 calls in Montgomery County, and wow. Am I seeing no incidents right now in Chester County? That can't be accurate. Maybe it is. Montgomery County's not busy. A lot of times over holiday weekends, the lesser severe stuff, people put it off. I'll go Monday. We could see a huge rush of EMS on Monday. I've seen where that happens many times before, and a lot of people who work in hospitals will tell you the Monday after a major holiday weekend, such as Thanksgiving, is often just absolutely crazy. So we'll see what happens. Taking a look at what's going on with the hospital capacity situation in Pennsylvania, and we are seeing a lot of green today, though there is still some yellow showing up. And I am seeing that Paoli Hospital in Pennsylvania it looks like your emergency department is overcrowding. I don't see the word divert, but Paoli House, that is a major hospital in the mainline section of southeast Pennsylvania, and it does say high patient volume. Seeing some other yellows showing up as well. Looks like maybe, Lankenau Hospital. That's another major hospital. That one, it says overcrowding, open for trauma, STEMI, and stroke and OB at this time. So yes, there are some hospitals in Pennsylvania that are dealing with issues. Taking a look at wastewater in Pennsylvania, we can see here there is an increase going in Delaware County, so it makes sense that those hospitals are busy at the moment. And the rest of the state is not doing bad. In fact, go out here to where is this? Indiana County, Pennsylvania. A large decrease in wastewater. That is a very actually good thing. That is really a good thing. And a decrease in Pittsburgh area at one of the sites. The rest of the state is either no change or insufficient data. In Canada, the COVID-19 viral activity level is moderate at this time. The viral activity level for flu A is low at this time. Flu B is low, and RSV is in the moderate category at this time. All right. Taking a look at Walgreens, and let me refresh just to make sure that is up to date. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, it was. But Walgreens this week, it dropped once again for COVID positivity rates. That is a good thing. Now, it'll be very interesting to see what happens on the Monday update for a couple of reasons. One, post-Thanksgiving, although I don't think Thanksgiving is going to show up in that data just yet. But more so, will we see an increase in testing? And the reason being for that is, were people being responsible enough to take a test before their gatherings? Say maybe they had to visit someone who's high risk. Did they do that? We'll see if there's any indication of that whatsoever. Other years there was. Given we are now 2024, it's possible we don't see that at all. And would it be a surprise to anyone? No, but we'll see. Hopefully we see something. The national positivity rate was 12.6%. Prior week was 13.5%. Difference of down 0.9%. Total test, 4,323. The prior week was 4,244. Should we even look at any states? Because it's going to be all different next week. We'll just look at a couple of the red ones, see what's going on. New Jersey, 18.2%. Prior week was 11.9%. Difference of up, 6.3%. Total test, 110 versus 135. California is a big state, and your positivity rate, not just at Walgreens, but elsewhere on the dashboard, has been starting to rise. And Walgreens is coming up 12.7%. The prior week was 9.3%. That's a difference of up 3.3%. Total test, 166 versus 150. Let's keep with the theme of big states. Texas, 8.8% positivity rate. The prior week is 9.5%. That's a difference of down 0.8%. Total test, 809 versus 766. And let's go up to the Northwest. Washington's positivity trend is Washington State now, 7% versus 21.7%. Difference of down 14.7%. Total test, 57 versus 46. All right, moving on. We could do more states, but we have a lot more things to get through because, remember, we don't do these every day, so sometimes, there's a lot of things that pile up that we used to do, during the daily updates that we now only check on maybe once or twice a week. And this did not update, but it's good to keep you informed in case maybe you forgot. A good refresher here of what the latest variant is of COVID, and that is the KP.3.1.1. variant, which is at 44%. XEC is at 38%. I believe next Friday is when we get the next update on this. Will that be when the two cross over, where XEC goes to the top and KP 3.1.1 goes underneath it? I don't know. We'll have to find out next week. I think it's going to be close. At the very minimum, XEC probably will go over 40%. Taking a look at wastewater. It's not all bad just yet, but we're not dropping anymore. You can see we have leveled off, and we're probably going to start going upward, especially given we just had the biggest super spreading day of the year in the United States, Thanksgiving. You know, we have Christmas, New Year's, those other holidays. Not everybody celebrates Christmas. Not everybody celebrates Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, and those other holidays. But Thanksgiving, the vast majority do celebrate Thanksgiving. And, you know, some people even invite extra people to their table. Hey, you don't have anyone to celebrate with? Come to our house. We'll give you a meal. It's a big gathering day here in the United States, so it's going to at least have some impact, even if there is not a strong new variant that's racing to the top. It's going to have an impact in some way. I mean, at the very minimum, we are going to see somewhat of a rise. Is it going to be a massive rise? Probably not, but there is going to be at least some sort of a rise from Thanksgiving, and we are still in the low category for viral activity of COVID in the United States, which is some fantastic news. All right, news sites, 64. There's the sites that's in white. Sometimes they're not news. Sometimes they're just reappearing on the map. Blue, this is very low levels of COVID. 511 sites is in the dark blue category. And that looks like that's 39% of the sites. In the slightly lighter shade, 493. So we can see the dark blue and the lighter blue. That's the vast majority of New York State, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and the Northeast. The Great Lakes as well. It's the vast majority. And for the most part, still the West Coast. Some of those lighter shades of blue are out there. There's 199 of them. 40 to 59% COVID detected. Now, higher sites. You know, the orange, 60 to 79% COVID detected. The red ones, 80 to 100% COVID detected, are at 15, which is up slightly just by 1 at this time. Now, let's take a look at wastewater scan. And I think what we're going to do here is, I think we will go region by region. First off, nationally. And we can see nationally for COVID at this time, levels are starting to rise ever so slightly. It's listed here as high. I don't know if that's actually correct or not at this point, because before I believe it was listed at medium. RSV, you can see it has been rising, starting to drop a little bit. I think that's going to start rising once again. Influenza A is starting to rise once again. Influenza B overall has been rising despite a recent drop. HMPV looks like it's starting to go back up again. Norovirus has been high for a long time now and continues to rise here in the United States, which is not a good thing. All right, let's do region by region, and within each region, maybe we'll click on an individual wastewater site. In the Midwest, COVID at this time is listed at high, and we can see here it is starting to rise once again. RSV overall has been rising. It did have a bit of a drop. Influenza A is starting to rise once again, as is Influenza B. Both are still listed in the low category. HMPV is not much of an issue. Norovirus is really high at this time. That is not good to see. And let's go up to Warren, Michigan, and we'll see what's going on there. And Warren, Michigan, you are starting to rise once again for COVID. RSV, mind you, at this wastewater site, none of the levels are calculated, so we don't know if it's low, medium, or high. RSV is, wow, something wrong here. That is a really high number of pathogens for RSV. Influenza A, Influenza B not calculated. Yeah, there's clearly something wrong with this wastewater site at this time. Let's continue on to the Northeast now, if we can. This site sometimes, if you use it after a few minutes, it freezes up. I don't know why. I've tried it on several different browsers. I've tried it on a different computer, and I seem to get the same issue. Taking a look here in the Northeast, we can see COVID is listed as high. It's not really rising yet. RSV is starting to rise at this time. Influenza A is rising. Influenza B is low at this time. HMPV is low, and norovirus is running really high levels at this time. And let's see what's going on with Boston. Again, all this is pre-Thanksgiving. We are likely to see some changes post-Thanksgiving, not just for COVID. Other viruses will have an increase post-Thanksgiving as well. COVID's not the only thing going around at the Thanksgiving dinner table or at the holiday gathering. Medium levels for COVID starting to rise a little bit. RSV is listed high, and that is rising now. Influenza A is rising. Influenza B is low. HMPV is low. Norovirus, look at this. That has seen a rise at this time. And continuing on now, let's go to the south. We'll do the south regional view, and then we will take a look at an individual wastewater site. And we can see in the south, COVID is listed at low. RSV has gone up slightly. Influenza A has seen a rise. Influenza B is low at this time. HMPV is low. Norovirus rapidly rising. That's not good. And everything else is not much of an issue at this time. Let's go down to Atlanta. We have not clicked on Atlanta much lately. Let's go down to Clayton and see what's going on there. And we can see in Clayton, things are leveled off for COVID. They're still low at this time. RSV was seeing a rise. Now that's dropped a little bit. That may go back up again. Influenza A, low. Influenza B, not seeing any calculation from that or HMPV. And norovirus, again, not calculated, but we can judge here by it's low to near medium would be what I would say, just based on that level we're seeing there. Hepatitis A, not much of an issue. And Mpox, no detections of that at this time. Now going out to the west coast, and here we will take a look at what's going on in the regional view first. COVID, it's leveled off. It's not rising yet. RSV is still low. Influenza A is high, and it may be getting ready to go back up once again. Influenza B, not much of an issue. Norovirus, wow, high and still rising. Not good to see on norovirus, and HMPV at this time is listed at low. And everything else is not much of an issue. And I don't know, should we do 2 wastewater sites here? I think we should, because I want to know what's going on in Las Vegas. And also San Francisco. Because, we don't get enough dashboards from what goes on in the West Coast, so I think it's only fair that when it comes to wastewater, we give you a little bit more attention because we don't get enough data out there. And apologies to the places like Arizona. We hardly get anything for Arizona or New Mexico. I could name a lot of states. Idaho? Do you even have a dashboard? If anyone knows if Idaho has a dashboard, let me know down below. All right, San Francisco. You can see here COVID levels are relatively low at this time. Not going up yet. You got hit really hard in the summertime. And that's something I should mention. One of the reasons why COVID right now is a little bit more delayed than normal for the colder months, the holiday season, is because our summer wave was just so big in the United States. But eventually, that's going to break through, and I think the starts of that is Thanksgiving holiday. But we'll see. If I'll be fully honest with you, if we don't see a big rise post Thanksgiving, would I be 100% surprised? No, but it would be a big change from the other years, a welcome change. Just stay tuned for next week's updates to find out what actually happens with that. RSV at this time is starting to rise a little bit, and Influenza A is rising at this time. Influenza B is listed at low, as is HMPV. And look at this. Maybe, just maybe, your norovirus levels, which are really high, maybe they're starting to peak. Then maybe they're dropping a little bit and going to go back up. I don't know, but hopefully you're peaking. So we have to go back to October, mid-October for any clade 2 Mpox strains. Remember, that's the older strain of Mpox, not the newer strain. And now let's go over to Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's see what's going on there at this time. And in Las Vegas, COVID levels, they're still low at this time. They're not rising yet. RSV is just rising slightly. Influenza A, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to look at this, is rising at this time. But there's another reason why I wanted to look at this. Influenza B is low, not even showing up, nor is HMPV. Here, look at this. The norovirus levels in Las Vegas. I was looking at this the other day. I said, whoa, that's really concerning. Now, they are dropping slightly, but it did get over 100,000 pathogens. That's just, whoa. Yeah, detections, whatever you want to call it. That is just a huge number. So please, I know if you're masking, that's a good thing. Please be wiping down surfaces, especially in nursing homes, hospitals, daycare centers, schools, restaurants, all these different places. You should be sanitizing surfaces. If you're going to the grocery store and they have the wipes there, you know how you can wipe your cart. please do it. Norovirus is running rampant in the Las Vegas area based on wastewater. Everything else is not really much of an issue at this time, although there are quite a few detections of hepatitis A for some reason. That's a little bit concerning. Alrighty, moving on. We still have a lot to look at, and oh, look at that, 25-minute video. We're going over 30 minutes today. Longest video we've ever done. Taking a look here at the emergency department visits with people diagnosed with COVID. We're not going to go state by state. We'll do that another day, unless you want to be here for an hour-long video today. I mean, that's up to you. But percentage of emergency department visits diagnosed with COVID, it's not rising yet. It's not dropping anymore either. I think we could start to see the rise come post-Thanksgiving. Will it be steep like the summertime? Don't know. But it'll at least be something, I think. And if it doesn't happen, man, that would be a huge change from other years. It would be a good thing. But I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen. All right, taking a look at epidemic status. Again, pre-Thanksgiving. What you just saw is pre-Thanksgiving. This is pre-Thanksgiving as well. It says data as of November 26th. This does not show any effect from people having their gatherings on Thanksgiving. Massachusetts is likely growing. Maryland is likely growing. Michigan is likely growing. Illinois, Iowa, we're likely growing in Kansas, Arizona, Utah, and Idaho. Now, we are definitely growing in just one state, which, again, for being November 30th, this is late this year. This is a good thing. Now, could that mean, and I should mention this earlier, could it mean that, well, hey, the wave is starting late. Does that mean it's going to go deeper into January? Not necessarily, because once we get past the holidays, travel does slow down, but we'll just have to see what happens. I mean, as of right now, at least on the COVID front, we are not doing bad here in the United States, and we even have some places that are likely declining, and would you believe it? There are still places that are still definitely declining. South Carolina, North Carolina, Vermont, still declining. Now, likely declining is New Hampshire, Rhode Island, West Virginia, Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Minnesota, Montana, Nevada, Alaska, and Hawaii. Hawaii makes sense. Alaska does too, because they got hit very hard in the summertime, and there are several places that are not changing. I'm actually surprised to see California still listed at not changing, simply because the positivity rate there for COVID is starting to inch upward. I think we may see them switch to likely growing on the next update. Now you come down to influenza, and, well, we got a big problem here. Influenza is really growing and likely growing in almost every region. The area maybe getting least hit would be the northern plains, but believe it or not, look at this. You have growing in Pennsylvania, growing in Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Virginia. We don't know what's happening in Ohio. Well, it says not changing. And then Indiana and Michigan are growing. And then you have Kentucky likely growing. So surround all these states. And then along comes West Virginia. They're not just likely declining. They are declining. Yeah, that's a kind of an odd one, don't you think? And everywhere else, I mean, you do have influenza. It's definitely growing. The trend is growing in the United States, and they even say that at this time. And what do they list United States at for COVID? Not changing at this time. All right, here is the influenza map. And we can see moderate levels in Washington, D.C., moderate levels in Georgia and Louisiana, and then the highest level of low is showing up in several places. But we do have a lot of places that are still in the very low or the minimal category at this time. I think that's going to change on the next update, just based on how epidemic status is starting to go up. All right, New Jersey. You're seeing here not much in the way of problems when it comes to hospital capacity for today. That is some good news. New York State, most recent update, 531 new cases in the hospital in New York State, 373 in the ICU, 46. Taking a look at Los Angeles, and we can see the positivity rate there is now over 2% for COVID at this time. Taking a look at California, I do need to refresh this to make sure it is up to date, and it looks like this has not updated since, November 16th, so this is outdated data. At that time, the positivity rate for COVID was 2.6%, flu 4.2%, RSV 3.6%. Good chance these numbers have likely changed since that update. All right, let's see what's going on in Ohio, and Ohio is going to be the last thing we look at for today. We're about to go over 30 minutes. I know. I don't think we've ever done a video this long, but hey, I need to update you guys on what is going on, and I really feel bad we're not doing daily updates anymore, so I'm giving you everything here today. And let's take a look at the current trends. That's what we usually look at to see what's going on in Ohio. It'll show us those 3-week trends, and here we go. Take a look at this. Ohio cases. And I did not actually look at this. I forgot to look at this before today's video, so this is good news. I'm surprised, and that's a great thing. Look at that. Ohio COVID levels have actually gone down again, or at least for cases. 1,902 cases. That is a drop from 2,250. Hospitalizations dropped. It's 71 versus 82. ICU, that's up a little bit. 5 versus 2. Not a good thing, but everything else is down. Even deaths dropped. 20 deaths this week versus 23 in the previous report. All good news. Alrighty, folks, that does it for a very long Saturday holiday weekend virus update. We'll have another update again either Monday or Tuesday. I haven't decided which day. We're going to have fresh new Walgreens data on Monday, but on Tuesday we'll get the first New York State post-Thanksgiving of the week. So it may be Tuesday. We'll see. And obviously, if I find a lot of news stories by Monday, well, I'll just jump on and give you a 15-minute or something update on Monday. And who knows, maybe we'll do both days next week. I don't know. Maybe we will do that extra update next week. I think it may be a week that requires that. Alrighty, if you enjoyed this long video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, hit that notification bell, share this video with anyone you know, and leave your comments down below. I will see everyone again next time. Until I see you again next time, stay safe, have a fantastic weekend. If you have to travel home, please stay safe traveling. Remember to mask in the airports, at the rest areas. Take rest going home. I mean, just if it's like an 8-hour drive, just don't do it all in one shot. Stop and take a rest somewhere, even if it means you just have to sit in the car for a few minutes or get out and stretch your legs. Do whatever you can, but please do it safely. I will see you guys again next week. Until then, have a great day, and thank you for watching.